classmates. Today we are going to talk about quiz pronunciation.
The separate summarize analyze process. The factor contribute mispronunciation, English mispronunciation. And the school student, five students were the test. The listening, reading, writing, and speaking still. Grants maximum score of 100. And the listening score between 14% and 100% variability, and the writing result from 50% and 18% with more irregularities, and the reading rating consistent between 70% and 90%, and speaking with variation 41% and 100%. The finalist scores range from 55.22% and 92.5%. Showing the difficulty of writing, especially in speaking, it could be two factors, such as the native exposure to the language, lack of confidence or practices. It is necessary to focus on reducing pronunciation error and producing improved overall English proficiency.
Okay, the introduction is a prior observation and instrument is are the prior observation instrument is as a assignment on the other hand, the grammar application was included allows the on the other hand, the grammar application was included to allow the possibility to monitor the student use of grammar structure, including verb conjugation and sentence structure. Also, as an attitudinal, the participation respite can be skipped in order to observe student engagement, behavior, ensuring the activity, participation respite for their peers. And last but not least, listening comprehension. And last but not least, listening comprehension. Was one of the each DC criteria collectively aim to provide a holistic assessment of the student linguistic capacity and interactive cities, promoting active language use, comprehension, and respectful communication.
The applicable observation instrument is structured as an assignment tool aimed at evaluating student language proficiencies across several key aspects or within context. This instrument was designed for a language learning classroom, practically one that which evaluating a student practical use of language skills. Um,
Methodology. As to the administration procedure, the exam was administered to a group of 5 students, as mentioned before. These students were relocated in separate classrooms. Away from their regular classmates to minimize distractions and provide a quiet environment conducive to focus. This dedicated space ensured they could engage with the exam activity effectively, free from external interruptions. It is important to clarify that was as oriented the participants were selected randomly without any consideration of their existing English language abilities. These randomized sections aim to provide a more objective sample for the exam, reducing potential biases associated with varying levels of language proficiency, and to obtain more relevant results and data about researched elements. Addressing to the data analysis method, using the exam, a qualitative scale was applied with a range from 0 to 200 points, with value of 25 per each skill sections. And this allows more a flexible way to evaluate a certain evaluation track.
Okay, in the following sections, the score reached by each student are presented. In the graphic, base is statistically organized. The students that had the highest scores were the student number 5 and the student number 3. The student number 5 in the listening section got 25 points, and in the writing section too, 25 points. In the reading section, 17.5, which is one of the lowest. And in the speaking section, with 25 points. The student with the lowest score was the student number 5 in the in the listening section, and also in the writing section, as well as in the speaking section, and in the reading section 22.5. That was one of the highest scores. And the student number 5 just had problems with the reading section, and the student number 3 he was one of the best in the first skills. Also, the student number 2, 1, and 4 got problems with with the 4 skills, and but more with the speaking section and in the writing section.
Well, in the next graphic, I will score for each from each section of the score calculated to compute the final score of your student. Through the graphic presentation, well-balanced skills of the student can be appreciated. In the following section, each student will be analyzed due to his score on the exam. That Karen explained. Here's the final score of your each student. We can see that the student number 5 reached the maximum score with 92.5 points. The student number 1 is the second place with 87.5 points, followed by the student number 3. The student number 3 followed by the student number 1 with 87.5 points. Next is the student number 2 with 80.5 points. And the lowest score is the student number 4 with 55.25 points. In conclusion, the results of the exam applied demonstrate varying levels across the 4 sections. In here we can appreciate in terms of percentage that the listening section achieved the highest performance with a 88% of success rate, followed by the reading section with a 80%, by the writing section, with the 82% of success rate, followed by the reading section with 80% of success rate. And the speaking section resolved the most challenging section for the students with the lowest score in terms of success percentage with 77%. Regarding the difficulty percentage, the listening section exhibited the 12%, which is the lowest score of difficulty rate, followed by the writing section with 18% of success rate. As we can see in the listening section, this demonstrates a strong comprehension and auditive skills for the students. Then we have the reading section with 20%, and the speaking section demonstrate the highest difficulty rate from the students. These findings suggest that the students generally performed well but had more difficulties in the speaking section. In this address that we have to focus on the improving of the speaking skills and oral communication skills to ensure a success balance rate.